This is Ann Gibbons reporting for the Daily Freeman, and I'm here in the art studio of Poly Law talking with her about bricolage, her chosen art form. And Polly, talk about your process, how you come to where you go.
Yes, I start with a sketch, and sometimes I use the same sketch for multiple figures. I just change certain details, but the basic shapes are there. And then I use graphite on the back, transfer the individual outlines of the pieces to illustration board, and then I cut, you can see this shape here is here. Then I cut them out, and then I paint them and distress them. I make my own stencils, and I'll stencil a pattern onto them. Then I sew them back together again with buttons and wire, whatever I want to use to embellish them.
And how does it turn out? It turns out like that beautiful lady underneath here.
Well, she's in process.
She's
still.
in process. She's not finished.
I had a long career in advertising, doing storyboards for advertising agencies. So my work is very figure-based. And so I transferred that to the doll making, but I had also picked up a lot of interests with pattern and form. Especially I've been inspired very heavily by the Disney artist Avon Earl, who did backgrounds. I was always interested in the backgrounds of the pieces, not the action in the front. And so I did my first doll, and it was of Vita Sackville West, and the English poet and garden writer and gardener. And I just absolutely fell in love with the process. So this one, I'm thinking I'm going to have seven figures.
Well, that's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It'll be a big piece. And the impetus for that was largely that a friend of mine, his mother, gave me a whole lot of white buttons.
You have a lifetime supply.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to do a lot of things with white dresses. And when I was doing it, I was casting around looking for some way to fasten the pieces together. And I didn't want to use brass brads like they very often do, because I just didn't find them that interesting, and I didn't like the color of them. And I was walking around, looking around my workroom, and I noticed a jar of buttons, and I thought, I'll sew them together. And that did it for me. I was totally besotted with the process, and I've been working that way ever since. It's been about 12 years now.
This is Ann Gibbons for the Daily Freeman.